In this video, I want to give you some more examples of motif and how it shows up, and how authors will try to first establish its existence, and then once that is accomplished, they will move on to try to explaining why this element or this situation or this event is showing up like it does, and the numbers it shows up in. So it's beyond coincidence. It just happens too much. And here's Griggs's article at CNN. Why computer voices are mostly female, and he provides a lot of evidence up front that when we have our social machines speak to us, or even any sort of machine that has a voice, like a car or a phone, a message machine, or an airport AP system, that it's going to often be female. All right, so he proves this with all up to right here, and then he tries to explain it later. All right, so here is his explanation down here. But this is a particularly interesting observation, and it exemplifies motif. But he doesn't really necessarily draw out a pattern for it. All right. He's just showing, hey, this is there. What does it mean? This is what I think it means. Here's another similar example. Obama orders FDA to reduce drug shortages. Well, so what, right? Well, but as soon as you start reading, it says acting once again without Congress. Okay, he takes steps to do something. The president signed an executive order, the 5th this week, the 5th in a week, instructing the FDA to take action. All right. So I know this is an article about the drug thing, but it's also really talking about why this person is Obama doing what he's doing so often. Hey, this author has noticed something. President Obama is really making use of his executive order power. He's done it 5 times in a week, and so now it moves beyond coincidence. What might be happening here? How can, once we explain this, let's look in the past. How much did he do it last week and the week before last? And then once we establish all of this, can we try to explain why this is happening? So this is taking advantage of motif. But then, authors will often try to make a pattern out of it, a series of events. Okay, so the motif is a series of events. A motif is just one thing, one element, one situation, one person, one name, one word that pops up everywhere. But a pattern is, you have to take a series of events that bump into each other, sort of like a cause and effect chain. And if you find that series of events showing up, then you have what's called pattern, all right? Now, is there a Kardashian effect for athletes? Apparently this lady, Kim or whatever, when she dates an athlete, the guy does really well in his game. And, so whoever is writing this has noticed that this happens to Chris Humphries. It happened to, let's see, Reggie Bush. It happened to Miles Austin of the Dallas Cowboys. And, this is sort of like tongue-in-cheek, right? Well, how do we really explain this? But there is that point that, hey, what's going on here? When these athletes date this person, their game goes up for that year. So that would be pattern. Here's one that's more seriously done. This one is called Gore and the Democrats' Green Graft Machine. And apparently Obama is doing this. And this writer, Schmidt, is saying Obama is following Gore's path. And, if you want to read these on your own, just Google the title, or go to, try to see the URL. But I would just Google the title. And he, this writer Schmidt really looks into Al Gore and what Al Gore did with a couple of green companies, and how he advocated for them, and the stock went up, and then he sold out the stock, and then the companies went down. And he has so much data here that he actually has a pattern going. Here are the steps. See Al Gore's formula for a DOE green technology scandal. Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps here. 7. And so this and the way this works is this person really has this person being Schmidt, the author, really has tried to watch Gore, read about Gore, learn about Gore, and he saw enough of these things happening to say, hey, there's a pattern here. These series of events happened once, it happened twice, it's happening a third time. Now Obama is doing it. They're Democrats. It's a pattern. So now Whether or not it's actually true or people will believe it is another thing, but he has established it, at least at this point, as existing, and he has tried to explain it. And since it's a series of events, I wouldn't necessarily call it motif, I would call it pattern.